Good morning!
And so bye.
And bye, yeah, because today Yannick is leaving. Unfortunately, he was with us for a week. But actually I'm kind of glad, you know, because how he won this competition, it was not fair and... Now he's gone, that's good.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Wunderfranke. There's two more people coming today. Another German Roma and another surprise guest. Some of you might know him, he's an actor. I need to take a shower now and then we go to Barcelona. This is how you upload a video if your internet doesn't work. You spend 12 hours sitting next to your phone or leaving the laptop next to your phone, and then you just take it with you when you go shooting. So the plan for today is we are off to an interview now. One of the most interesting interviews, to be honest. And then we'll go to the city and we meet two new people who will join us. One is going to join us for only one day here in Barcelona, and the other one is going to stay with us for the next couple of days.
The largest campus of UPC. UPC is the Technical University of Catalunya. This is the, I would say, largest technology campus in the south of Europe. There are 12,000 students here, around 1,000 professors, and as you can see, it's a grid of 6x4 buildings. I am Josep Lluís Larriba. I am the director of Dama UPC, which is a research group within the Technical University of Catalunya, based in Barcelona. And at the same time, I'm the CEO of Sparsity Technologies, which is a spin-out of the university. We work on technologies around the management of data, analytics of data, and also mobility for vehicles and people, intelligent mobility in cities and regions.
What is one of your biggest projects that you did here in the area?
Okay, at this moment we have been working, for instance, with the city of Barcelona in understanding, and in fact Burju is the research person in charge of that. We are working with the public company chartered by the city of Barcelona to work on last mile freight delivery in the city, in such a way that they are collecting a lot of data, more than 50,000 check-ins in the parking areas for these vehicles that deliver goods to the city, and we are now analyzing that, and we are finding very interesting conclusions out of that, right? So we've been able to understand that there are different needs from the different types of vehicles that are around delivering goods or using the city, right? One of the highways in France has a use case. And the idea of the project was taking into consideration the amount of battery and the weather, the environmental conditions, because you know that if you are climbing up, the amount of kilometers will be less. If it is very hot, batteries suffer from that, or if it is very cold. So the idea was taking these conditions of the car, plus the fact that in a highway you may have places where you could install one such or many such charging stations without creating new stop areas, which would reduce, of course, the budget, and that's beneficial. So in a sense, being as ecological as possible, planning for the places where these stations, these charging stations should be. And we have that as a use case or as a pilot or let's say a showcase that we could do that for larger areas. So that would be a very interesting thing to experiment with countries that would like to have their specific planning, because at the end what the project said was, okay, we know where to put the stations, so in such a way that we minimize the risk of cars ending up without battery, no matter where they come from, the amount of battery they have when they get into the highway. But this can be applied to any type of geographical area, right? And the interesting thing about this is that we could provide the network of charging points and also provide preferences or I would say what would be better, how we could implement that better, right? In such a way that they can invest in the right way. If they have different companies that want to invest, they could assign points in such a way that the territory gets a good spread of charging stations. Imagine that you, as a driver, a German driver, arrive to Barcelona with your car on a Sunday. And it's an April Sunday when the Marathon of Barcelona is happening. You don't know that there is a marathon. You don't have to know, of course. But at the same time, for instance, Google Maps does not provide you any data about traffic jams in the city, because of course on Sunday people are usually resting at home and there are not so many vehicles around. So with this information you are not going to be able to do anything but facing the marathon and having to stop there until it ends, or you figure out ways to get around this. So it would be very interesting that the city, as open data, provided where the marathon is going to happen. At this moment, the city of Barcelona is only providing data about the marathon is happening on this day, and that's it. But that's not the type of data that mobility services want. The type of data that mobility services want is, for instance, the marathon will start at that time in this point, and it's going to traverse these streets in such a way that we know exactly when and where the mobility obstacles are going to be faced. Not only that, but you may also have companies that want to provide services to runners in such a way that they know where ambulances are around or where the refreshing points for the marathon are, in such a way that they have that in their mobile device and they can check, or even toilets or for other type of events where the bars are going to be, right? In such a way that if you are able to get this curated data and provide that in real time, that may be a great help for mobility. Right?
In the management side, this is the city of Barcelona, of course, and then all the items you can see here are different events or different kind of, the different events that you can set up to move around the city in a different way. So, for example, let's say that the levels of pollution are higher in the city, right? So all of these radius mark where the pollution is. These, for example, these are for demonstration purposes. But we can also say that, for example, we've got the nationality of Catalunya going on, and you know that for sure there'll be, for example, a parade that we'll be blocking all of these streets, right? This is an example. All of this data can be sent to the user, which is using, again, this would be the navigator built in the car. So they would see it, and then, as you can see, we are here, and we want to go to that point, but we are not using at the moment our navigator, right? So let's say that now we're going to do it, and the navigator will be calculating a different route that has to avoid these areas. So you can imagine it as the snake, the game. You know that you have to move around to get to another place. So this is how it works.
That was an interesting interview we had about the super blocks and the infrastructure that Barcelona is implementing at the moment in order to make this city more sustainable and increase the standard of living for the people living here. When you drive around the city, you immediately feel that traffic actually flows quite well. Hola.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Karim Ganes. Nice to meet you. I'm from Berlin. I'm an actor, and I know Philip since a few months. So I'm happy, and I'm curious what will happen on the tour. Yeah.
So we met each other at a dinner. I think it was in December or January this year, and I told him about this trip that we're going to take. And when I told him about it, he said, "Oh, that's interesting." And I asked him, "Yeah, maybe you want to be part of it. Maybe you can join us in one of the cities that we're going to." And yeah, that basically was it. And after like a couple of weeks or months, we talked to the press agency that linked us to, and your agent. And this is it, basically. You flew to Barcelona yesterday.
Right, and it is my first time in Barcelona, so I'm seriously curious what will happen here and how the city is. So we will see.
Läufst du schon? Ach so. Wir haben uns entschieden, das Ganze mal auf Deutsch zu machen, weil Karim und ich einfach gerne Deutsch sprechen wollen und nicht mehr Englisch, und deswegen nutzen wir die Gelegenheit und machen das Ganze auf Deutsch. Das ist das erste Mal, dass Karim in Barcelona ist. Was hältst du davon?
Ja, stimmt. Erstes Mal. Das ist mega geil hier. Also ich würde auf jeden Fall nochmal kommen. Ein bisschen Strand, ein bisschen Stadt.
Aber ist dir nicht viel zu voll?
Nee, überhaupt nicht. Genau das, was mir eigentlich fehlt. Kombination mit Stadt und Strand, geil. Wenn ich jetzt noch die Sprache könnte.
Findest du Spanisch eine gute Sprache?
Auf jeden Fall. Sehr sexy. Ich glaube, wenn Frauen oder Männer, auch Männer, wenn die Spanisch sprechen, richtig sexy.
Ja,
Findest
Spanisch.
du nicht?
Ich finde Spanisch mega gut. Ich hatte das halt nie in der Schule. Ich habe immer nur Französisch in der Schule gehabt. Aber ich finde Spanisch mega gut.
Ich hatte Latein.
Latein hatte ich auch. Aber Latein war eine gute Basis für alles andere.
Nee, ist geil.
Spanisch oder Französisch? Oder Italienisch? Lasst es uns wissen. Ich finde, ganz ehrlich, ich finde es ein bisschen zu voll.
Nee, ich überhaupt nicht. Das ist genau meins.
Ja?
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Hier, siehst du, ne? Die Leute lachen, die Leute grinsen, denen geht's gut.
Ja, das stimmt, aber das ist die Sonne. Der Plan ist jetzt, wir werden ein bisschen den Strand entlang laufen, uns das Ganze noch ein bisschen anschauen, und dann gehen wir einmal um den Hafen rum und gehen dort, weil in den nächsten 4 Tagen ist Sonar Festival. Sonar Festival ist eines der größten Elektrofestivals auf der Welt. Wir sind große Musikfans.
Wo wir leider nicht dabei sein können.
Wo wir leider nicht dabei sein können, weil Karim morgen schon fährt und wir morgen früh schon nach Montpellier fahren, nach Frankreich. Und wir jetzt einfach noch mal kurz ein paar Freunden Hallo sagen werden. Und dann werden wir uns auf den Weg nach Hause machen, wo es heißt arbeiten und schneiden. Und dann war es das auch schon wieder aus Barcelona. Barcelona war super stressig, es war super busy. Wen ihr jetzt noch gar nicht gesehen habt, ist Leo. Das ist nämlich der neue Fotograf der German Romers, der heute eingeflogen ist aus Deutschland nach Barcelona. Den seht ihr dann im morgigen Vlog, weil der jetzt gerade auf dem Weg nach Hause ist und es nicht mehr hierher geschafft hat, weil so viel Verkehr war. Und dann starten wir morgen wieder total frisch, geduscht, ausgeschlafen und dann geht es zurück nach Frankreich. Und dann kommt der wohl schönste Teil dieser Reise, nämlich die Côte d'Azur und die Alpen.